This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, guys? Back again, MMAniacs Podcast.
I'm getting there.
Joined as always by the bearded Packer fan, Ken, a.k.a. Bare Knuckle Ken. Got to switch his little nameplate out. But, yeah, dude, good times. Exciting day. Just went and got laid on, like I was telling Ken before the show, just got laid on by a 250-pound D1 wrestler. And he's like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, when you get used to it, it's all right. Like he just has to ease it in, not jam it in. Have you seen that Ralphie May where he's talking about just ease it in. No, don't go full jackhammer, dude. Like, But
well, nice to know that your butthole fucking relaxed enough and you didn't have any tearing.
No, only my pride. So, yeah, dude, it was fun though. We worked half guard. Again, we're still in half guard, and like Professor actually demonstrated a couple techniques on me, and man, like it's cool because like Professor only generally demonstrates on higher belts, right? Like even if it's like, let's say, a white belt class, he'll go with only the highest stripes, so today we had a blue, and we had two blues and a purple, but he even got me in there and demonstrated on me a couple times, and I'm 4-stripe white belt. So it felt good because it's like you're one of the upperclassmen, I mean, that part of it feels good. The rest of it doesn't feel good. Because, dude, like, I would rather have that 250-pound wrestler on me than Professor, dude. Let me just tell you, like, that man is 170 pounds, but he feels like a Volkswagen is laying on you, dude. Like, it's just, bro, I mean, he's been doing it 40 years, dude. Like, there's just, his top pressure is so heavy and so uncomfortable, dude. Like, and so it's sort of a badge of honor, like, so he'll put you in he'll put a technique on you, and then he'll be like, go, move. And you're like, but I can't move. Or I can't move. But you got to try. You got to try to fight, because he's like, he wants to show the rest of the class when your opponent is going to try to do this or this is how you can,
Mm-hmm.
So there's one guy, one of our new blue belts, he like started fighting hard, dude, and like Professor made an example out of him, and not in a malicious way, but like it was kind of like he was not really going with the flow. So Professor's like, oh, okay, well, let me show you, So then
let me take that down a notch or two for you.
So yeah, it wasn't he wasn't being aggressive. It was just he was being smart.
Oh,
He was using his blue belt skill to try to counter what Professor was doing. And he's a good blue belt. Like he's a very he's pretty good, man. So he like Professor was like, oh, okay, like I actually got to do a little work here, okay. And so then like he made him pay, dude. And then at the end, like once he let him up and we're going to do our technique, I turned to him, I'm like, hey, bro, thank you for your service. He started laughing because it's like better you than me, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm the type, bro. Like, if Professor is on me and he's like trying to show something, I'll fight a little bit. But once I know I can't move, I'm just like, yeah, I just give up. I'm just gonna let him do what he needs to do. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and make it worse, dude, because I know whatever I do, he's gonna make it worse. Like, he's gonna make it so uncomfortable. It's a game of chess, dude. He's not gonna, the technique is over when it's checkmate. So I'm just like, as soon as he captures my queen, I'm like, fuck it, dude. I just lay the king down, like, like, set the board up again, dude. Like, So yeah, it was funny. Good times, man. I love training. But yeah, so we had some we have some kind of interesting news. Like before we get into the card from last week, so you remember we were talking about how Mauricio Hufi had temporarily left the Fighting Nerds gym to go train with Volkanovski for this fight with Fiziev, right? So Kaio, who's kind of the head of the Fighting Nerds, said, "Yeah, it's no problem. Like, he's still one of us." But the coach for the Fighting Nerds said, "Yeah, no, I'm not cornering Hoofy for this fight." Like, he kind of said like he made his choice. Like he went over there. Like, So there's definitely some animosity in the camp. And then John Silva, who's coming off, a win from the card before, a big win over Arnold Allen. He actually just like came out on Twitter and said like basically there is no more Hoofy and John. Like there is no more like friendship basically. Like I don't know what happened, but apparently, I mean so I want to get into this a little bit because there's some interesting dynamics here.
Yeah, because as far as I knew, these motherfuckers were thick as thieves.
Thick as thieves, right? And not just that, but they're a really good team, right? It's like if you think about it, so you have there's like 5 of them, right? 4 or 5 of them, but you have at 145 you have Jean Silva who just beat Arnold Allen, so he's going to be up. Matter of fact, can you pull up the rankings real quick while I'm breaking this down?
Yep.
The featherweight rankings. So Jean Silva should be up in the top 6 or 5, maybe 5, but at least the higher top 10. So you have John Silva at 145, you have Hoofy at 155, you have Pratis at 170, and then you have Kaio at 185, right? So it's like if these guys all hit on their potential, which I believe that they could, you could realistically have one team control 4 belts. And not just 4 belts, but 4 consecutive belts. Like basically from featherweight all the way up to middleweight, it's the Fighting Nerds, dude. You know what I mean? So for them to be on Hoofy like this, it doesn't make sense to me because Hoofy is actually, in my opinion, one of the better guys on the team, and he's closer. I mean, after this, you saw the fight, right, with Fiziev?
What the recent one here?
Yeah, just this last weekend.
Yeah.
Remember, he hit him with that right hand, and
I thought he was actually losing that fight until then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you, but he found the shot that he needed, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And nobody, the thing is, nobody finishes Fiziev. Like Fiziev has only been finished, I think, once, dude. He got one punch KO'd by some Dagestani or Russian dude, but a Russian not a Russian Fedor, a Russian like Shavkat, or you know what I'm saying? Like a Dagestani kind of a Muslim Russian, and with a Russian Muslim name, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got one punch KO'd. But other than that, Fiziev never gets finished, dude. So the fact that he got finished is crazy to me, number one. And it should, Hoofy was at 14, Fiziev was at 9, so it should push Hoofy up, considering not just that he won, but that he won by finish against the guy who never gets finished. I'm thinking it should put him up in that 8-7 range, which is, his next fight, he should fight up the rankings. So he might get a top 5 guy, like number 5, So Hoofy is potentially 2 fights away from a title shot. If he can fight up the rankings against the number 5 guy and win there, then he'll get a shot against another higher top 5 guy, like the number 1 or 2 or 3 contender. And if he wins that, he's the next in line, right? So it doesn't make any sense to me for the Fighting Nerds to throw this guy off the team when he's the closest out of all your people to a title shot right now. Well, maybe not the closest, because Pratis is pretty close, right? Can you pull up the welterweight rankings as well? So we'll go through that right now. Jean Silva, what's he ranked right now?
Silva, he's ranked 6th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. After the Arnold Allen fight, he moved up into that high top 10, almost top 5.
Hoofy is 9.
Really? So they basically gave him Faziev's spot. I thought they could have done a little bit better. I thought they could have put him at 8 or 7, to be honest with you. I felt like it would be deserved. But okay, so he's number 9. So his next fight, technically, I mean, you could match him up against like the number 5 guy, right? And I would look to do that.
Which would be Benoit Saint Denis.
That would be a fucking banger, dude. I'm going Hoofy on that one. But let me tell you, like, Benoit is.
I was going to say, after what I saw from Benoit, man, I like Hoofy and all, but holy shit, that's going to be a hard hill to climb.
But see, styles make fights, man. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Benoit is he's former French Special Forces, dude. Like, so his fighting style is all attack, like, it's all attack. He blows his load before the 3rd round, dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to give you 1.5 to 2 rounds of everything he's got, and then he's just spent, you know? So if you can weather the storm, he's going to be there and he also, he's hittable. Like, he doesn't have the best defense in the world. He's a good striker. He has decent grappling. It's not anything to write home about. He's got the heart of a lion, but Hoofy is a very strategic striker. So I actually favor Hoofy in that fight fairly easily. I don't think he gets finished by Saint Denis, and I think Saint Denis' only real chance is a finish. Like, I think Hoofy is smart enough and technical enough to stay on the outside and just, like, Saint Denis is going to bum rush him because that's what he does. He's going to bum rush him and try to end the fight. But if he can't, he's either going to get caught on the way in, because what I'm starting to see with Hoofy, he almost has that McGregor quality where it's like he'll time you, and you know, like, he's just waiting for that one time that you step into range to where he can uncork that right hand, dude. And once you step into the range, it's too late. You know, he has that one punch power that maybe it won't flatline you instantly, but it's going to have you like Faziev, you know, like you're going to be done, like, and he'll finish you from there. And he's a good finisher. So yeah, Saint Denis would be a good fight. But so John Silva is number 6, right? So I guess, yeah, you said he's number 6. So technically, Jean Silva is the closest to a title fight.
Hold on.
Or Pratis.
Yes, Pratis beats him by literally 1 spot with being at 5 at welterweight.
Okay, so Pratis is the closest to a title shot right now.
I was going to say, but all 3 of these guys are almost in the same cluster. Granted, it's different divisions, but they're ranked right around the same. It's from 5 to 9.
And where's Caio? Caio's at 185. He might be the only one that's outside the top 10 because he's coming off a loss. So he might be the only one that's. And it's because he's the weakest striker of the group.
And he's light heavyweight, right?
No, he's middleweight.
Thought you said 185.
Yeah, 185 is middleweight. 205 is light heavyweight.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
yeah.
He's 7.
See, so they're all inside the top.
Clutch. Yep.
They're all inside the top 10. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer, I said that before, when they were all in the top 15 even, like, and some of them weren't even in the top 15, I said that the Fighting Nerds, within the next year to year and a half, they were going to have at least one champion. I said that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't know, whatever people might have thought, but if you look at it now, they got 4 guys. I mean, if Hoofy is staying on the team, they got 4 guys that are in the top 10 right now, one of those guys is going to get a title shot.
Yes, but I just had the lovely, horrible idea. Oh, excuse me. If we're not getting, the grudge match between Ilya and Patty, are we starting to see a grudge match develop between Silva and Hoofy with what came out in the comments? Granted, this is super early and we're massively speculating here, but what makes a damn good rivalry besides friends that fucking fell out?
I don't disagree with you in the sense that I think there's legitimate, at least as far as Jean Silva is concerned, there's legitimate beef, right? But to me, and I don't know how the fighting nerds handle this kind of stuff, but let me just tell you, in my gym, I say my gym, like the gym I train at, not my gym, obviously, but in my academy, if there's a problem between two guys, we settle it on the mats. And then we shake hands and we go our way. Like, it's so I think that this kind of, it's either going to get solved in-house and we'll never hear about it, but they'll just all of a sudden be cool again. And they may never be friends like they were again, but at least the pecking order is going to get established, And I gotta be honest with you, Hoofy outweighs Jean Silva. Like if they actually had, if they put the gloves on, like the training gloves, because they're not going to let them just straight up fight, right? But they might put them in the cage together with the gloves and say, hey, dude, you guys are going to go until you're done. Let's go ahead and where nobody's recording, nobody's, we're all here. The team is going to watch, but nobody's going to say shit. Nothing's getting out. And if anything does leak, whoever leaks it is kicked the fuck out of the gym. And we're all going to kick their ass, right? I could see it getting settled like that. Especially because, that's kind of how native Brazilians tend to handle things, According to my professor, that's how they handled things in the Carlson Gracie gym too. There were guys that had beef all the time because the way that Carlson did things, Carlson was, a great man. And so I don't want this to sound like something bad that Carlson was doing, but Carlson would pit his guys against each other. He would incite rivalries amongst his guys because rivalry brings out the best competition, right? So he would have, everybody understands that we're teammates, but only one guy gets to compete for the blue belts at this week's tournament. So everybody's going to try to kill the other guys because they want to be the one that Carlson picks to be, So my professor told me there was some knockdown dragouts, dude. People were trying to kill each other. The way he told it to me was, if you were a blue belt, you didn't have blue belt friends at that academy. You might be friends with the purple belts and the brown belts, but you weren't friends with the blue belts because they were your rivals, So, but everything got handled in-house, and they didn't talk about it afterwards. They didn't go and oh, these two had beef, but this guy kicked this guy's ass. It was everybody had honor about it, and it was it's settled and that's it. Unless you want some more, then you can, you'll feel free to,
let's go for round two.
Yeah, we can be here as long as you want until you get it out of your system, So I kind of feel like that's how they'll settle it at the Fighting Nerds. But there's the chance that since the coach is already kind of siding with Silva, that Hoofy just says fuck it and he just goes and trains with Volkanovski because he won his fight. He trained with Volkanovski for this card and he won his fight. So go ahead.
Yeah, I got a feeling that that's kind of what it's banking towards just from what you told me there with the coach coming out and saying something and now a teammate saying something. to me, at least as of right now, it seems like it's almost like they're kind of breeding that environment. Granted, that might not be the exact phrase to use for it, but there's obviously something going on and it's festering over there because it's now spread from the coach over to Silva. Are we going to start to see kind of the turn against Hoofy with the fight in nerds?
Well, okay. So let's break this down a little more, because to me, this is an interesting thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, you can learn a lot about psychology of the sport here. Let's break it down. Like, why, in your opinion, why do you think the fighting nerds are so mad? And it's not all the fighting nerds, but why do you think some of the fighting nerds are so mad at Hoofy for going to train with Volkanovski?
I think for the exact same reason that the coach is, that the coach feels disrespected that he went and trained with someone else for that fight instead of him.
Okay, but that's just one fight. Okay, what I'm getting at is there's deeper things here. Like, for example, what division does Jean Silva fight in?
Silva is featherweight.
Who's the champion at featherweight?
Volk.
So a guy that you train with every day now goes for his fight camp to go train with the guy who's the champion in your division. What kind of questions does that raise in your mind?
Yeah, it can definitely raise the question there of, is this guy really for me type of shit in a teammate aspect. But
It's more than that.
To me personally, and this is my own view, is I wouldn't have too much of an issue with it if, like you said, it's just the one fight type of thing, and you want to become a master at your craft. You should want to learn from multiple different teachers to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But
here's,
go ahead.
You're missing one of the key things here, and it's not just you. Like, a lot of people, I don't think understand this part of it. Why do you think Silva is really so upset? It's you said because it's like you're going to train over there instead of with us. It's kind of disrespect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just that. Volkanovski is the champ at your weight class, at my weight class that I'm fighting at. You're over there training with him. What are you saying to him about me?
Oh, okay. That's what I already had implied. But you also have the inverse of that now that this guy has trained with the champ, if you're actually buddies, he might be able to give you a few extra tips when he comes back. But with what's going on right now, that might push him over to Volk to, hey, let me give you a few insights on Silva.
But that's the thing, is I think that Silva thinks that Hoofy already did that. I think that because think about this. If you're Hoofy, you're going over there to train with him. Do you think, as much of a competitor as Volk is, do you think that he doesn't see Silva on the radar? Do you think he doesn't watch the top 5 and top 10 and see who's coming down the pipeline? And all of a sudden, you have the chance to train with a guy who trains with a guy who you're potentially going to fight in the next year and a half, right? Do you think that if you're Volkanovski, that whether Hoofy says anything or not, I believe, and I'm just going to say this, like, I believe 100% that Volkanovski would say, hey, so, in almost a playing way, what's up with your boy Silva? Like, is there anything, you can give me some game about him? And I 100% believe that Hoofy would shut it down and be like, come on, man, that's my boy. I can't do that.
Absolutely.
Right? You have to find out for yourself. But Silva doesn't know that, number one.
Yes, but if this guy is that much your friend, do you really think that he's just going to backstab you? Because if that's already sitting there in your head, that sounds more like an insecurity type of thing.
Well, and I'm not done. Like,
Oh, okay.
no, I wasn't trying to say like be quiet. I'm trying to say like I wasn't done. Like, there's more to this story, right? We're even with Silva. So like Silva, he's mad for more than one reason. Is my point. He's mad because number one, you're by going over here and training with Volkanovski, you're basically saying that our gym is not good enough, that you lost because of us, our gym is not good enough, so you need to go somewhere else to better your game, right? So it's a slight on the gym in a sense, even if it's not Hoofy's intention,
Mhm,
that's the perception, right?
mhm.
Number two, and I don't think that's even disputable. Like, everybody is even saying, yeah, Hoofy went there because he felt there were holes in his game that he needed to address. They even mentioned it on the broadcast. Number two, the coach and all that team, they have pride as a team. And the Fighting Nerds, two years ago, 2.5 years ago, they were nobodies. Nobody
Mhm.
knew who these guys were. They've built what they've built, right? So now for Hoofy to all of a sudden want to go train somewhere else, you got to think, even Kaio, even though Kaio is supportive of Hoofy, you got to think that all of those guys are thinking, WTF, dude? Like, we built this thing together, and now all of a sudden, at the first sign of trouble, the first sign of one loss, you're gonna go and like go to some other team. Like, what happened to the vision? The vision was for all of us to win belts together, and the Fighting Nerds become the most dominant MMA team in the world. You're kind of selling out that vision, right? So I think that's part of Jean Silva's beef too, is like he feels not only did it potentially Hoofy sell him out to Volkanovski, but that he sold the team out on their vision, right? And so I feel like he takes it as a personal disrespect, and because he takes it as a personal disrespect, I could see a world where they fight, right?
Especially since holy shit, we've got a Motown Mitch back. Glad to see you again, buddy. Hope you're doing a lot better.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Really glad to see you, dude.
Yeah, glad you're doing better, man. Um, so I could see a universe where they fight, but to me, I think Hoofy's too smart for that, because think about it for Volkanovski, right? Like, Silva fights at featherweight, so for him to fight Hoofy, he would have to move up for that one fight, right? They'd have to go up to 55 just for the grudge match. And if Hoofy wins, he's basically taking care of Volkanovski's light work for him. Like, that's a bad perception. You're already under suspicion with your team, and then you're gonna fight.
Oh, we're glad to hear you're out of the hospital, man. We're praying that you have yourself a speedy recovery. Believe me, we've missed talking shit back and forth with you.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Um, we're glad to hear that, and just keep getting better, man. Just take it easy, get your rest. Do what the doctor tells you, and we hope that you're back to full health soon, dude.
Oh fuck yeah.
But yeah, to me, it seems. I think Hoofy's too smart to do Volkanovski's light work for him, to take care of Silva for him. Number one, I really believe that this thing could get settled in house, and we'll never hear about it. Like,
Yeah,
no matter who wins. I gotta
yes.
tell you, I don't like Silva's chances though.
Yes, I can see what you're saying, but that's thinking that this grudge match is going to happen right around the corner. You might not see the grudge match for another 2, 3 years, something like that. And if they both get to be champion, granted, we're taking a lot of what ifs here, but they both get to be champion. How many times do we see dudes hop up in weight class to go belt for belt?
Yeah. The issue for me, the only real issue that I see with that is you have Elias standing in the way there, which isn't as huge of an issue, because I really think if Ilya beats Gaethje, he's going up to 70 to chase Islam. Like, I don't think he's going to stick around and make 4 or 5 defenses of the belt. He's on an Alex Pereira trajectory, right? Where Alex he fought Israel Adesanya twice, right? He beat him the first time, lost the second time, and then immediately just moved up to 205 and just, won the belt there. And then he's been killing it at 205, but now like he has like a few defenses, like two or three defenses at 205. He lost the belt, got it back. I think he's going to be moving up to heavyweight here soon, like to try to capture that third belt, and then he'll be out because he's already 37 years old. I think he could continue to fight, especially at heavyweight. Guys fight into their 40s all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's big enough to fight heavyweight long term, but I don't think that's his plan anyway. He's made a lot of money, and if he goes up and captures that third belt at heavyweight, I think he defends it maybe once if there's a legit enough challenger, and then he's out. He's going to retire, go make movies or commercials or whatever, just sit on the beach or go back to the tire shop and just pound tires. No, I mean it. Like, he's that kind of guy. Like, he'll go back to the tire shop and just work a regular job, even though he doesn't have to, just because, it's like he's got money, he's got what he needs, and he's not really a flashy guy that, you don't see him driving Ferraris and Rolls Royces and shit. It's like he's a really down-to-earth dude, right? I think Ilya is much more flashy, but I think Ilya is on that trajectory, right? He did what he had to do at featherweight. He beats Volkanovski. He knocks out Max. Then he goes up to 55. He knocks out Max, right? And then he'll knock out Gaethje. And then he wants Islam because Islam is the most prized scalp in the company at this point. If you can just hang Islam's scalp on your wall, like you've cemented not just Hall of Fame status, but legendary status, especially if you can capture a third belt while doing it, right? Because I don't think there's ever been a 3-division champion.
Not that I know of offhand.
I think maybe Randy Couture might have done it. But I don't know if even he did it, because I know he won at 205 and at heavyweight, but I'm not sure if he won at 185.
Nope. They're still waiting for the triple champ.
Yeah, see, there's never been a triple champ. So Ilya is on that trajectory. He's on that trajectory, I believe. So it's possible, right? But realistically, you have all 4 fighting nerds, right? 4 of them are in line. They're in the top 5, top 10 for title shots, right? How many of those realistically do you think are going to win the belt, though? That's the thing. Like, I don't think all 4 of them are going to come away with belts.
Hey, what's up, Brent?
Like, let's break that part of it down real quick. So, like, at 45, do you see Jean Silva beating Volkanovski?
It's Kaio, or however you pronounce his name, is the one that had the super meteoric rise in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then no. Because I wasn't sure if it was Silva or Kaio that had the insane Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, no, it's Kaio, but Kaio's at 85.
Yeah. That's what I was deciding.
Yeah. So, I see. So you're saying if Kaio was the one at 45, you might lean towards him.
Yes.
Even then, Volkanovski is a superior striker, and Brian Ortega had Volkanovski in a full-on locked-up guillotine and still couldn't finish him. Like, Volkanovski was like this close to passing out and somehow got out of that thing, dude. Like, Volkanovski is hard to beat, bro. He has that never say die attitude. He's never out of the fight unless you literally knock him out, which is the only way to do it with him. So, and it's been done. Islam did it, Ilya did it. So, to me, Silva's only chance is that. But if he couldn't even finish Arnold Allen, who is very tough, but Arnold Allen is nowhere near the fast and twitchy striker that Volkanovski is, and then you have the wrestling on top of it. Volkanovski is good everywhere, dude. Like Volkanovski doesn't have crazy power. Like he's a volume striker for sure, but he's just so fast. Like you saw what he did to Diego Lopez again, right? This last weekend, and you saw what Diego Lopez did to John Silva. So I know that we're doing a little bit of MMA math here.
Yeah. But hey, sometimes, yes, even though the styles make the fights and all that shit, sometimes you get that fucking inkling that, dude, dog walk to dog walk, there's a good chance that there's going to be a loss. Now, maybe it might not be another dog walk for Silva and Volk, but
I kind of see a dog walk.
That's why I gave the face I did.
But not a dog walk in the sense of like, let's see. I'm trying to not a dog walk like Amanda versus Pena 2, right? Not that kind of a dog walk, like a 50-43. Just a 50-45 easy decision where it's never in any question, and Volkanovski just sticks and moves for 5 rounds and wins a comfortable decision, right? To me, that's what I see happening. But Volkanovski is getting older, man. And he's at that point, at those lower weights, 35 seems to be where people kind of fall off the cliff. How old is Volkanovski now? He's got to be 36, 30, maybe even close to 37. Like I think he maybe 34. He's at that point.
He's 37.
37, dude. So he's already living on borrowed time, dude. Like, and the thing is, with those really small, those younger weight or those smaller weights, their decline is generally not gradual.
Yeah,
it's all of a sudden just one fight, they're just washed, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, that's Silva's biggest chance is, does he just show up on the one night that Volkanovski falls off the cliff?
I wonder if, because we see this so much with the lighter weight classes, is how much is that cutting that weight to get to their taken off of their career?
Probably more than heavyweights. Because
that's kind of my point of it, is that you generally got to cut less. Because I don't remember, in UFC, is it like boxing to where the heavyweight is just a minimum, there's no cap?
No, the cap is 265.
Okay.
So they have to make 265.
Okay.
But they can be anywhere between 207 and 265 pounds. So these guys are cutting down from 300, like 285, depending on if you're a big fat guy or if you're a big bulk, like an Aspinall type. Aspinall's probably not cutting a whole lot of weight, He probably walks around at like 275 and he's just a beast, right? Like, so he probably cuts 10 pounds. Like the heavyweight's easy for him. But a guy like Derek Lewis, he's cutting 30 pounds of fight camp. I guarantee it. You think that man doesn't like to eat in between fights? So that's my thing, is like, it just depends on if Volkanovski decides to fall off a cliff on that day. And the thing is, the longer that it goes, the more it favors him falling off a cliff. Because Silva right now is what, number 6, we just said?
Yep.
So that means he's got another fight at least. He's got to fight a guy in the top 5, which is like, let's say they'll give him 4 or 5, right? Then if they want to stretch it out a little more, they could give him another fight like 2 or 3, right? So they could stretch 2 fights out, but in that time, that's 2 more defenses for Volkanovski. I personally don't think they make him fight twice. I think at number 6, they'll give him a guy, let's say like number 3, and if he beats the number 3 guy, they'll probably give him the shot. So that's still 1 more defense for Volkanovski, 1 more opportunity for Volkanovski to fall off the cliff. Now, I do think Volkanovski is athletic enough that even if he falls off the cliff against inferior competition, he might still be able to win a close fight. right? Like, he might be able to defend the belt one more time if he falls off the cliff. But you got to figure another year, because it's going to be another year, right? Silva just fought, so he's got another probably 4 or 5 months before he fights again. Then they'll have to build up the fight. They'll have to sign the fight, build up the fight for him and Volkanovski. So he's looking at about a year from a title shot if he wins that next fight, right? A whole nother year is not going to be kind to Volkanovski, dude. Right? Now you're talking 38 at 145. So
I don't know many 38-year-olds that weigh 145 just to start with.
Well, Volkanovski doesn't even weigh 145. He cuts weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's natural for a guy to weigh 145 pounds.
Shit. My brother, who, granted, obviously is not a fighter or anything like that, has been about 130 most of his life. About when he was approaching that 40 range, he packed on like a good 30, 40 pounds, just not even changing anything, just his metabolism slowing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, but so we got Silva, right? His best chance really is if Volkanovski falls off a cliff in the next year, right? And just so happens to be when it's his turn to fight him, because there's a chance that Volk could fall off in his next fight, right? So he's got to hope that Volkanovski is good enough in the next fight, but then he falls off the cliff. Seems like a lot of hope, but at the same time, he's 37. I don't know when his birthday is, but time is not on his side, right?
Hold on. September.
So 8 months. That's less than a year. He'll be 38. He'll be 38 and almost a half by the time they fight. If they fight. It's not looking good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Silva, we'll say, has a decent chance, right? Maybe a little more than a decent chance. Somewhere in the 40 to 60% range that he can win the belt in the next year. Now let's go up to 55. Hoofy. Oh, you don't think it's that high?
I don't think it's up to 60. Even with Volk possibly taking a step back.
I said 40 to 60, but
I can agree with 40, and then you could get me to agree to 50, but 60, I can't put him as the favorite personally, at least right now.
Well, you got to keep in mind, I'm not talking about putting him as the favorite in the fight. I'm saying the favorite in the circumstances, right? Like that there's a 60% chance. You're not just betting that John Silva is going to beat Alexander Volkanovski 60%. You're betting that within the next year, when Volk is 38 and a half, he's going to fall off the cliff. I think there's a 60%. Okay. I think there's up to a 60% chance that happens.
Okay, that one I'll give you. Okay, now that I understand what you meant.
Yeah, I think Volk is. It's a 60% chance to me that Volk he falls off the cliff in the next year, right? He's a tremendous athlete, but Father Time comes for us all, and he's undefeated. Now you go up to 55, right? Hoofy's number 9. So he's got a little path, right? But that actually benefits him because as good of a striker as he is, Ilya's a different animal, dude.
A motherfucker.
So Ilya's a different animal. So I don't know if the one thing I do like for Hoofy, though, is that he may not have Ilya power, but he has his own power and he has length. Like his striking is very long. Whereas Ilya likes to throw inside tight hooks, right? Like you don't really see Ilya knock people out with straight right hands or straight left hands. He knocks people out with hooks, compact, right on the chin hooks.
Yeah, because he's a phone booth type of fighter. He
Exactly.
knows with him being shorter, him going out there and reaching like that, you just left all this shit in here just to get hammered with. When if you're up close and you set that short little hook, not many guys can throw those type of punches.
And with the accuracy that he does. But here's the thing. Whereas you might favor or you would definitely favor him over a guy like Gaethje because Gaethje throws hooks too, right? Gaethje's power comes in hook bombs. He throws the Hendo bombs, right? Like, and you could argue that like so you would definitely favor Ilya over Gaethje because they're like you don't hook with a hooker and they're both hookers, right?
Mhm.
But Ilya's the stronger hooker, the better hooker, right?
One's
Yeah,
worth a grand. One's worth a grand. The other one's worth $50.
I knew exactly what I was doing there.
I
Ilya,
figured you did.
Ilya is the better hooker for sure. But then you have a guy like Patty, right? What I always said was I liked Patty's chances because he's long, right? But then he fought Gaethje, and it was like, okay,
Fuck this shit up.
if you can't even handle Gaethje with those hooks, unless you severely improve your your boxing defense, like you're gonna get
Ilya's
mauled.
gonna eat you.
Ilya's gonna eat you, dude. Right?
We might have a 45-second fight.
However, Hoofy's a different animal because Hoofy has the length of Patty, but also the power of like a Gaethje.
I don't think he's at Gaethje's power. Because to me, from what I see from Hoofy, is not that he's got the immense power. He has enough power. He's got that combination power in my mind. Granted, yes, I know you'll see him snipe and all that, but that's to set up the finish, like you were talking about earlier. To where from what I've seen, at least personally, to me, he's got the strength, but it's not that pop. And yes, we're not comparing it to Ilya because that's a fucking planet away.
Go back and watch Hoofy's last 5 fights.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to that one next week because I think you might be surprised. Hoofy can pop, dude. And his punch, like he doesn't, I agree with you that he's nowhere near Ilya's pop, right? But Hoofy, this is why I said at the beginning of the show, Hoofy almost has that McGregor thing going for him, right? That timing. And that timing beats power, precision beats speed, right? Like, and so when you have a guy who's long, like Hoofy is, compared to Ilya's got very short arms. Hoofy has the length, he has the reach, and Hoofy does knock people out with straight right hands, right? Which his hand, like, how is Ilya going to compensate for that, right? So I actually think, but with saying that, here's what I want to say. Also, the caveat is that I don't think Ilya is even going to be in the division by the time Hoofy gets a title shot. So I think you're looking at they're going to have a fight for the vacant title because I think after Ilya starches Gaethje, he's going up. I think it just makes sense, right? I think you have Ilya versus Gaethje on the White House card because that'll be a banger of a fight for the 95 seconds it lasts.
Dude, I am so all for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a great fight for the time it lasts, dude. Like because Gaethje is not a quitter, and Gaethje's not easy to knock out, but he can be knocked out. So he's going to take some bombs, and he's going to give some bombs.
Oh, absolutely. Gaethje isn't known as the most violent man in a violent sport for no fucking reason.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but Gaethje also, he's starting to look a little bit washed, right? So, but he's still, the power is the last thing to go, and I do think. I think if anybody is expecting for Gaethje to not land a single punch in that fight, they're going to be wrong. Like Gaethje is going to land a punch on Ilya, and Gaethje has power too. So the one thing is, like we saw Max. I thought Max was doing a really good job of boxing with Ilya up until the point he got caught. Like in my opinion, Max was winning the fight until he got caught. Like. He was outstriking him. He wasn't damaging Ilya, but he was severely outboxing him.
He was beating him by scoring points.
Yeah, he was beating him by scoring points. He was beating him with technical striking, right?
Yeah, yes, but to be fair, we have also mentioned too that Max is one of the best pure boxers in MMA.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's not, but my point was that Ilya, as great as his boxing is and as crazy as his power is, he's been outstruck before, right? And so I'm not saying Gaethje's going to do that, but Gaethje hits a hell of a lot harder than Max does. You know?
Yes, but I also think Max is a decent amount fucking better of a boxer too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say that it's like planetary difference, but you're talking a pretty huge fucking
yeah,
gap.
There's a gap there for sure, and I mean, we saw it when they fought. Like, who was the one at the end of the fight on the canvas?
That's kind of my point, because I think Ilya is a better pure boxer than Max too. Even though in that fight he was getting them on the scorecards, you got to look at the whole thing in total. And part of the boxing is, hey, you can't let yourself get caught like that. And if you do, you better be one of the dudes that's got an iron fucking chin. Other than that, you better defend fucking everything.
But my point with that was, we haven't seen Ilya's chin really tested yet. Like, he hasn't been caught flush by a real puncher yet, right? And Gaethje is that. If nothing else, Gaethje is a real puncher. So I'm curious to see when Ilya. I expect that he'll take it and he'll keep going, but it's just, I want to see how Ilya takes that bomb to the jaw that Gaethje throws. Like, if he eats it, damn, dude, that's a scary.
You're fucked.
If he eats it, that's a scary motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, because not only does this some bitch have dynamite for hands, but you can't even hurt him now.
But you can't hurt him now. Like, it's like he's like the T-1000, bro. It's like, remember, Schwarzenegger was the T-800, and it's like the T-1000 is just a superior model, bro. I'm sorry, it's liquid metal, dude. And, like, you know what I mean? You punch a hole in it, and it just heals itself back up. Like,
yep. And there ain't gonna be no M79 to save you this time.
No, dude. So it's like, to me, like, that'll be the interesting thing. But I think Ilya's done at 55 either way. He's going up for that Islam fight, which creates an interesting opening, because remember, we're in the grand scheme of things. I know we're talking a lot about, you know, the divisions right now, but the conversation that we started with was the Fighting Nerds' potential at these 4 weight classes, who has the best chance to win a belt, right? So I think Hoofy, simply based on the fact that Ilya is gonna, in my opinion, is gonna go up, I think that increases Hoofy's chances greatly.
Yeah, because I'd assume that even after the Ilya fight, that Gaethje's going to retire after that. Unless he fucking somehow fucking wins that one, I think he's retiring. And how many more fights do we got out of Oliveira? So that would be the champion, number 1 and number 3 off the board right away. Granted, speculation here.
And Max is no spring chicken either, right? And so actually the next card is Max and Oliveira for the BMF belt. Like, so there's a chance that if Charles loses, he's going to hang it up, right? So you look at that top 5, like Hoofy. I think top 5,
all you would have is Armin and Benoit.
Yeah. So Armin and Benoit, and Armin is going to get the next shot. After Gaethje, Armin gets the next shot.
Well, you're gonna, if we're getting Ilya up in another weight class, that would leave Armin fighting either Benoit or Hoofy for that vacant belt.
Well, if they make the Armin versus Benoit fight, or I mean the Hoofy versus Benoit fight, to me that fight makes sense. But there's no guarantee that they're going to give him number 5. He's number 9 right now. They could give him number 7, number 6. Like, you know, they could even give him number 8. But personally, I think number 5 is fair. I think it's a fair test for him. And I think Hoofy wins that fight against Saint Denis. I really do. So, but either way, he's got to beat Benoit, and then he's got to, you know, they could potentially set up the fight between him and Armin, like the number 1 versus the number. Well, he wouldn't be 5 after he beats Benoit. He might be number 4, right? He'll either take Benoit's spot at 5. So you'd have the number 1 versus the number 5, because every other guy in the top 5 is coming off a loss, right? So that could be a path to the title. And bro, that's going to be a tough fight for Hoofy. As good of a striker as he is, Armin is an amazing grappler.
Mm-hmm.
So Armin is not a very good striker. He's not crazy good striker in my opinion, but he's an amazing grappler, and what his strategy is going to be from the first round, dude. It's going to be wrestle fuck city, dude. Like he's going to try to get this down and keep it down, right? So, but the thing is, he's going to have to get him down every round because every round starts standing up. So Hoofy's got a chance every round. So I like Hoofy's chances, but then you go up to 70, right? Now, a lot of this depends on what Ilya does. Because if Ilya goes up to fight Islam, now all of a sudden you have Pratis at 5. Pratis might have to fight one more time, right? He might have to fight one of those guys in the top 5 to get a shot. Who's Islam's next defense right now? Have they even talked about it?
No, not that I can think of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let me look just to see.
I haven't heard anything about it. Like, who's Islam's defense going to be, right? Like, nobody has really established themselves as the clear-cut number one contender in that division, I don't think. Like, you have Ian Machado Gary. He's
the only thing I'm starting to see is Michael Morales.
See, you remember Morales? You remember what Morales did in his last fight, right?
Let me look to see which one it was.
We talked about this one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Go ahead and say it. Just for the fans who might not remember, Michael Morales just whooped who?
Brady.
He just whooped Sean Brady, dude. And didn't just beat him. Finished him in about 90 seconds. Like, I think it was like 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was less than 2 minutes. It was no, hold on. The official time was 3.5. Okay. I thought it was 1.5.
It felt faster than that. So 3.5 minutes of the first round, he finished Sean Brady, dude. Like, so Morales is no walk in the park for Islam, right? But so Pratis, let's look at that top 5. We only have like a minute and a half left. Look at that top 5 and see, because Pratis is 5. Who could he potentially fight next to try to get that title shot?
You'd have either Belal Muhammad, but he's at 4, so I don't know how much that's going to move the needle. Then you got Ian Machado Gary and Jack Della Maddalena.
I could see him and Jack. That would be a very interesting fight. Mm-hmm. Jack is a good boxer, although I personally, Pratis has the crazy power that I would lean Pratis in that fight. And then, like, it's Pratis versus Islam, dude, or Pratis versus Ilya. Like, either way, that's a big mountain to climb, bro. Like, so as much as I think Pratis might be the best on the team, either him or Hoofy might be the best on the Fighting Nerds, he's got the toughest mountain to climb. We're out of time, though. So, hey, thanks for joining us, guys. Next week we'll get into the card that just passed. I wanted to talk about it, but there's some interesting stuff going on with the Fighting Nerds right now, and the storylines, in the divisions. A lot of interesting stuff. So we just decided to get into that today. But we want to thank you guys for your comments. Remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and tell a friend about the show. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around.